Look at this picture. It's a traditional NASA spacesuit. Now look at this. This is a different spacesuit. Specifically, it's from SpaceX, you know. Yeah, this is the story of how they perfected the spacesuit. Okay, before we take a look at all the crazy stuff that's inside of this thing, we gotta take a step back. Picture this. It's 1961, middle of the Cold War. America and the USSR are competing in the space race. The Soviets developed this, the SK-1. It was the first ever true spacesuit that was made for the first man to go to the moon. Gagarin. I don't know. Features things that many modern suits still have today, like pressurization, visored helmets, and life support systems. It actually resembles that NASA suit we saw a little while ago. But fast forward to 1969 for the first ever mission to the moon. America developed the A7L spacesuit. It was used by Neil Armstrong in quite possibly the most famous moment in all of science.
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
These were the first suits to implement temperature regulation, since the desired use case was on the moon. The Apollo suits featured liquid cooling systems and air tanks. The USSR followed up on these suits with a Crochet A-94, and it was these suits that had the benefit of not having any external tubing. We'll see why that's important in a minute. Now it's 1979. The United States has this cool new thing, the Space Shuttle program. But they need new suits, so out came the EMU series. These were the first suits to be modular and not fitted to a single person. This is also key for later, but that's enough of the past. Let's see the SpaceX suit. SpaceX began working on this suit in 2015 when they hired Hollywood designer Jose Fernandez. After months of work designing a new sleek-looking spacesuit, it was sent off to SpaceX engineers to make it functional. Now here comes the first breakthrough. SpaceX tailored each and every one of these suits to the crew member that would be wearing it. This was kinda like the EMU suits from the 70s, but not exactly. This SpaceX one, however, allows for perfect joint movement since it's been made just for the astronaut wearing it. Now, in most of the suits you've seen so far, there have been valves and pipes on the outside, but not this SpaceX suit. Instead of astronauts using the valves to control air pressure and temperature like they did in the 60s, this SpaceX suit has a single port that contains a hole for air circulation, a power and communications connector, and a port to inflate the suit in the case of an emergency. This takes everything from those early American and Soviet suits and essentially brings them up to speed into the 21st century, at least in my opinion. And you know something even cooler about that port? It can feed data from itself and sensors in the helmet to the actual spacecraft, so it can automatically regulate air pressure and temperature. Like what? Anyway, the final breakthrough I want to mention is that with these new suits, astronauts can suit themselves up completely alone in under 10 minutes. This is crazy because in previous suits, it was almost required for a team of like 20 technicians to help each crew member individually put on their suit, and this could take upwards of almost 30 minutes. But that's how SpaceX created the greatest spacesuit in my opinion. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe, and yeah, it's been it for me. See ya.